we're gonna do this. All right, the following contest is for the FSW Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first, the challenger. He is the holder of the FSW Tag Team Championship from 6 feet deep. This is Graves. And introducing his opponent, weighing in at 180 pounds, from Bay Area AVA, he is the reigning and defending FSW Heavyweight Champion, the ultimate finisher, Chris Bay!
One year ago, Bay took the title off the other member of Project Body Count. Tonight he finds himself against Graves one-on-one defending that title. We thought it was going to be Shogun's rematch, 10 months in the making, but that is not meant to be on the 337th day of the FSW title reign of Chris Bay. And is that a peek into the future? Graves, 1/3 of the tag team champions.
Look at the big smile on Graves' face. He's got nothing to lose. He shouldn't even been in the match, and now he's got a chance to be the heavyweight champion.
Nothing to lose. Challenging for the title. And we are ready. This place is rocking. They are ready for Chris Bay to make it 338 days as the FSW champion. But can he do it? Because this is a big mountain to overcome, a big hill to climb. But Chris Bay is ready. John Woo dropkick sends the challenger into the corner.
Chris Bay, he's not worried about he's glad there's at least a top rope.
That's all Chris Bay's gonna need is the top rope. The only time we've seen these two in the ring together, essentially in tag team or singles competition, was at Survival of the Fittest this past summer. Oh no! Chris Bay tried to spring off that bottom rope. It was Bay. It was Sefa Fatu. It was Shogun Jones against Project Body Count. And after Sefa, Shogun, and Bay had eliminated the rest of the team, only Graves was left. And rather than try and fight those men, Graves just tuck-tailed and ran. It was the first time we had ever seen Graves run from a fight.
Oh, and look at that, right to the side of the face. And Chris Bay not having any problems without any second rope.
No, he'll figure it out. Standing moonsault off the apron. And Chris Bay is feeling it. The FSW champion, who a lot of people have felt has put together the greatest run of exciting matches that any FSW champion has ever had, is continuing that streak tonight. Him and Graves, no matter what you think of Graves, should be a hell of a contest. Oh! Springboarding off the ropes, gets the stunner. But Graves holding on to the rope so he can't be drugged back to the center of the ring, and Bay cannot go for that pinfall attempt.
And I'm pretty sure Bay cannot just yank Graves.
No, that's a big man to move.
As strong as Chris Bay is, telling everybody using his head. And there's one thing you know about Chris Bay, one of the smartest guys out there. He knows what he needs to do. You know, he's chopped down the big monsters like Killer Cross and Hammerstone.
And Graves is telling everybody to move. What's he gonna do with Chris?
Maybe they didn't buy a front row seat, I don't know.
Oh man! Insane agility out of the champion. Graves' plan didn't work out for him. Spring rail forearm out of the champion, levels Graves. And Chris Bay sees Graves on the floor. Chris Bay wanted this fight tonight. With Shogun unable to compete, He probably could have just had the rest of the night off, but that wasn't for him. What was for him is defending this championship with honor against the best possible competition. Step up, tried the Rana. Oh, and he gets swung into the rails. Then the steps, and then powerbomb violently on the edge of the ring, and then Graves attempts to take his head off.
This is the closest Graves has ever had the chance to be the FSW heavyweight champion, and you know he is going to do whatever it takes. If Graves wins tonight, Project Body Count is holding almost all the belts.
Hey, a lot of us assumed when Graves won the cash in the case ladder match, the first thing he was going to do was cash in on the winner of Hammerstone or Sefa Fatu, with the other option being Chris Bay, Killer Cross winner. Instead, he went a different route, but he finds himself challenging for the championship, the FSW title, a few months later against Chris Bay. So those big legs now to try and cut off the flow of blood in the body of Chris Bay.
And if there's one person who can wear down Chris Bay, it is definitely Graves. He'd love nothing more than to tap out the heavyweight champion.
And he can do it. He tapped out. He submitted Stephan Bonner about a year and a half ago. Him, Gallows, and Hammerstone have been a destructive force in FSW. And we've seen Graves change a lot ever since joining Project Body Count, ever since helping form Project Body Count. He's always had a vicious side, but now he has a mean streak, almost an uncontrollable urge to dish out violence.
And Chris Bay in a heap of trouble.
And he's just pounding away at the champion. For Graves, there isn't many things you can say he would have a disadvantage in any fight he enters. The only thing he would have the disadvantage with against Chris Bay is speed. And he's been able to slow down Chris Bay.
And the back elbow from Graves connects on Chris Bay. Will we have a new heavyweight champion? We have a new No Limits champion that we just saw with Remy Marcel. Will Graves add the heavyweight championship to the tag team titles that he now possesses?
Or will things stay the same with Chris Bay on the top of the mountain as FSW champion? 337 days as is. Will it go to 338 tomorrow with Chris Bay as the holder of the FSW heavyweight title? These guys are giving Graves the business. They did not like the way he came about this title shot.
Sort of the same way they took the tag titles. And without the middle rope, Graves goes right through onto the floor.
Yeah, Graves gets sent outside, and Chris Bay is ready to try and turn this match up a little. Slingshot, he gets caught, went for the Pescado. Oh no, what is? And a tombstone on the wood, on the floor. And that tombstone could spell the end of Chris Bay's title reign. It could be the death of Chris Bay's championship supremacy in FSW.
And there's Graves stopping the count. He knows he's not here to just beat Chris Bay. He's here to pin him, tap him out in the middle of the ring. He knows tonight's the night that he has the opportunity of a lifetime to walk out the FSW heavyweight champion, but only a 2 count.
Yeah, and how did Chris Bay still have it in him to get the shoulder up? It shows you how much Chris Bay, how much the championship means to Chris. It's why he moved to Vegas. was to build his name. It was to achieve these goals, to win these titles. Graves, it's a little bit of a different story. Graves, it took a long time to win a title in FSW, and he earned it.
You know, he saw when his best friend Hammerstone turned on Graves, but he did what he needed to do to become the heavyweight champion, and now, obviously, Hammerstone continued to get in the ear of Graves, and he finally listened, and now Graves is at the pinnacle, and becoming the heavyweight champion will top it all off for him.
And it was at the 9th anniversary when Graves won his first singles title in FSW, his first title in FSW. Oh no!
In a match with Chris.
Yeah, exactly.
Chris Bay.
I was going to bring that up, but Graves sent right into the steel, shoulder first. And what a lot of fans don't know is there's a little piece of metal sticking out of that turn post from when the ropes broke and have been removed. And that could have been driven into Graves' shoulder.
And the referee making the count. Chris Bay retains if there's a count out, but Graves is quickly back in before the 5.
And Graves is going to try to have to win this with one arm, I think. I don't know what the recovery time is going to be for having your shoulder driven into steel. And yeah, he doesn't have the same strength trying to throw those punches.
And Bay is just too quick for him right now.
And this is where the champion's going to have to capitalize. Oh, when he caught him on the back of the head. Didn't get all of them, but enough to throw Graves off and send him down. Baymaster.
And he drives him to the mat. 1, 2.
Chris Bay, only with the 2 count there.
Fans letting us know it was a 2 count, Jake. It was 2.
Thank God they're there. Chris Bay, though, ascending up top, looking to take a big risk. Trying to use the same move that brought him the title here.
And there it is, the frog splash. 1.
But look at Graves just sitting up like Jason Voorhees coming back from the dead. And plants him with the power slam, and he's not finished. German suplex. Chris Bay staggering back to his feet. How much more can Bay endure?
And Graves looking to finish off the champ. This match is turned around.
Speaking of turned, he just turned Chris Bay hard.
The final cut. Is it a wrap?
Oh, Chris Bay gets the shoulder up. Chris Bay gets the shoulder up, but Graves, you can see, he has exerted a lot of energy in this matchup. He's breathing a little bit heavy as Chris Bay struggles to try to get to that vertical base.
And look at this, Graves is just lurking right behind Chris Bay.
Trying to lock in that submission hold.
But Chris Bay
fighting like a champion. Side of the head, he rocked Graves.
And he needed that. If he is looking to retain.
Well, here comes Hammerstone. Bay told him to keep himself out of this matchup since he's already beat him in the past. Obviously, Hammerstone wasn't going to listen, but he's got the attention of Grimy. Oh, Tope Con Hilo. Current champ takes out the former champ.
And Chris Bay, does he have what it's going to take out Graves as he goes up top?
Looking for that finishing shot. Oh, double stop to the spine of Graves, should do it.
1, 2.
But no. Graves gets that shoulder up. Unreal. Bay thought he had Graves beaten. He was going to retain that championship.
And it looks like Hammerstone just got behind me and grabbed one of the belts.
Man, I was distracted by the action in the ring, but Chris Bay is wondering what else he's going to have to unleash to try. Yeah, I see it now. Hammerstone has one of the titles, and Chris Bay is wondering what else he's going to have to unleash to try and put away Graves without realizing. Well, here comes Shogun. Without realizing Hammerstone grabbed the title, but here comes Shogun distracting the champ. And on the other side of the ring, Hammerstone threw that title to Graves. And up the ramp goes Shogun and Hammerstone. Shogun, whose match this should have been, has Chris Bay's back tonight. What? Oh no! Graves just caught him in the spine.
1, 2.
No! Graves thought he had Bay beat. He thought he was going to be the champion. But Chris Bay isn't going to let the title slip away that easily. This is a man who moved all the way across the country to be here. That title means everything to him.
And the crowd, they are trying to get behind their champion.
He's locked in that submission. Chris Bay has nowhere to go. He's not close to the ropes.
We have not seen anyone not give up when Graves has it set.
Chris Bay is in a lot of struggle. The best thing he can do is try and will himself to that bottom rope to try and break the hold. Because Graves has a death grip on him. He could be out. No one has escaped, and I don't think Chris Bay is going to be any different. No! Whoa!
We have a new champion.
And new FSW Heavyweight Champion, Graves!
And despite all of the things that Graves has done, there's still fans that love our new heavyweight champion.
And for the second time this year, Graves has gone into an event not even challenging for a championship and finds himself leaving the event with a title. Despite the way this may have transpired, in some ways this has been a long time coming. Graves has always been one of the most talented competitors in FSW, one of the best wrestlers you will see. We thought it was going to be Shogun and Bay, but in the end it was the runner-up of the Against All Odds Rumble, Graves, who leaves the event as heavyweight champion.
Look at all the belts. Those who have the belts have the power, Jake.
That's what I've heard, and it's a scary thought how much power these men have now.
Nevada State Champion, Tag Team Champions, and now the FSW Heavyweight Champion.
And the sheer dominance these men have displayed, who's going to step up and try and take those championships away from them? The 337 days that Chris Bay got to live his dream as FSW champion is now over.